So this Spurs game review is going to be a little different. First, they got off to a blistering start and built up like a 12-point lead to start. And you would think they were going to run away with this thing and turn it into a blowout, right? Well, if you thought that, you were wrong. Apparently, they temporarily forgot how to play basketball and let these bozos from Chicago, no offense, Missy and Mike Fierro, back into the game. And the Bulls, were making it neck and neck for a little bit after that, but then they looked like they had the game in control when they were ass packing us. So therefore, I thought it was all over and everything, but I kept watching like a true fan because true Spurs fans and true fans of any team will watch the entire game on TV, even if they're down 25 or they're getting ass packed from flag to flag, whether they come back or not. Because right here, I thought we had lost control, but these Spurs, unlike the Spurs of the previous 6 seasons, figured out how to play basketball when it mattered most and it came back to beat the Bulls. And, first time since 2021, they've beat them in Chicago. And Friends Vanilla came in the clutch in crunch time minutes when it mattered most, playing together at the same time. And that's why they signed Kornet like alley-oops right here. I know he missed 2 free throws in a row to give the Bulls fans free hot dogs, but they can take them fucking hot dogs and shove them where the sun don't shine because WEMBANYAMA, his partner, tore that shit up like Terry Labonte. Bang, bang, Tito Puente, the next Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Well, not exactly. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but you know what I mean. It was a fun game to watch. I mean, we got False Patty Mills back. He made a little bit of an impact, even though he only played for a small bit. But keep in mind, since he took Mills' number and wasn't made the Holtz, R.C. Buford, Brian Wright, Mitch Johnson pop in the front office, since they never learned, they instead of compromising him and giving him the 88, so that way they can save that number 8 for Patty's retirement. I am not going to be. We're not cheering for Olynyk this year because of that. Kind of like how we didn't cheer for KBD, but he took Malik's number, or Weatherspoon, Wieskamp, or Bouye when those 3 imposters took Bonner's number. So I've always been very consistent with that. So anybody who takes Malik Rose's number, Matt Bonner's number, Patty Mills's number, I will not be cheering for in San Antonio because those 3 numbers should be disallowed. 15, 31, and 8 from ever being used in San Antonio again. So that way they can go up in the rafters at SBC Center where they belong, or while we have like all these last days left in that arena to go, and then they can get transferred to the new downtown arena whenever that's all set up and the Spurs officially move in there. But I'm not holding my breath because those idiots running the Spurs really don't learn their lesson. I mean, they're great leaders in other in other all the other departments, but when it comes to retiring the all-time Spurs greats numbers, Rose, Mills, and Bonner, they're fucking dumbasses. So fucking Nick Collison, of all people, got a jersey retired in Seattle OKC. And that dumbass Wolves fan from TikTok, don't think I forgot about you. You should not be talking about which team should or shouldn't retire a jersey, because guess what? Your team has even retired your best all-time best players number yet, that being Garnett, who Boston had to borrow to give him his only ring of his career, since he didn't win jack shit with you guys during his heyday there, and he only came back to Minnesota in his last year just to finish his career as a Timberwolf, which I respect, but he was nowhere near the level he once was, who was in Minnesota the first time that he spent the majority of his career. But anyway, that tangent aside, I mean, these Spurs, know how to figure out how to play basketball. If they're about to lose a game, a winnable game that they should win, they usually find a way to come back and win it. And if they're about to blow a big lead that they got really considering that they got too comfortable with and decided to relax, at least they know how to hold on to it. The previous 6 seasons of these miserable Spurs teams that gave us all these miserable seasons, including Wembanyama's 23, 24 first 2 years, they wouldn't have done any of this stuff. So it's nice to see my team be back to being good again. So Wembanyama's been taking it easy if you watch him play. That way he doesn't re-injure himself, doesn't risk anything substantial happening again, like the blood clot. That way he can save himself for the playoffs in case he decides to in case he actually does by default make his career playoff debut in San Antonio. So looking good for San Antonio this year for the first time since the 2016-2017 season, the first year without Tim Duncan due to his retirement, July 11th of that off season. So I'm looking forward to Golden State tomorrow night, technically later on tonight, today, which is already 12:18 here on the East Coast of Northeast Ohio. So to all my Warrior friends, Michelle and Mark Berglund, Kelly Berglund's mom and dad, Naya Jamison, Madison Pettis. Who else is that Warriors fan? I know. Am I leaving somebody out? Mark and Michelle Berglund, aka Kelly Berglund's mom and dad, Kiera Berglund, her sister, Madison Pettis, Janelle from Living La Vida Lab Rats, Naya Jamison, and oh yeah, one of my real life friends who really, really likes me a lot, JJ Rutherford, one of the little brother of one of my best friends, Leah Rutherford. My team versus your team tomorrow. It's on. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Good night. I will see you all for tomorrow night's game against those said People's Warriors on Fox Sports Southwest with Jacob Toby and Sean Elliott. And I feel bad for poor JJ because unfortunately he doesn't have any access to the game because the apps that Mama Laisha tries is all fucking blackouts. But I can always help her in the future. That way you don't have to. He doesn't have to worry about blackouts if he wants to watch the Warriors anytime he wants, whether against my team or any other team in the NBA that's not the Spurs. Where if she has a Fire Stick, she could download the Gen Play, create like a free profile, add Golden State like a profile for him. My dad did for me. Go to the NBA, any channel you want to add to your favorites, as sports channels and all the other categories. Leisha or John can go to the sports channels, NBA, and then all the different teams have their own channel with, the said team's feed, with the Spurs, it's with Jacob and Sean, and, the Spurs commentators and X, Y, and Z. Every team that has their own channel has the actual, team commentators, the local commentators. So if he picks Golden State and adds it to his favorite, he can listen to the Golden State Warriors commentary version anytime he wants. So I hope that helps him, if either for tomorrow or in the future. But blackouts he doesn't have to worry about on Friday because we play each other again for the NBA Cup on Amazon Prime. So if Laisha and John have the Fire Stick, they can download the Gen Play to have them watch it tomorrow night, technically later on tonight, and then Amazon Prime on Friday when we do the NBA Cup shit on national television. So hope this helps. Again, I'm rambling on too much and yapping, so I just better shut the fuck up and get off this thing. Catch you guys in the next, video, whenever that might be. And one more thing, it's going to be 61 degrees on Saturday, so you know what that means? If that shit holds together by the time it's time to play, that means we get our first ever Sandy Ridge walk-off finale, and maybe we might get one last TikTok in for the road, and, get ready to make, our second end of season, montage. The 2025 season comes to an end with the proper sound this time, since the dude uploaded it a little after the standard finale was recorded, so I had to use like a substitute version. But we get to use the actual official, real, like verified version for our second one. But we won't. Well, if we're getting a walk off, that means we get to like post it, but like a little earlier than normal because usually we post it before the right when the 2-week Thanksgiving festivities happen. But if we're gonna get a first walk off, our first proper one, we can spend, since we didn't get to spend it in 2023 when the door was wide open due to us, not dressing accordingly for the cold and wet standard finale before that. As a result, a mild cold caught us after just 1 week later. Okay. The standard finale came in 2023. It was cold and wet, even though it looked nice on paper. And then a whole week went by with all those birthday tributes for all those show ups at the exact same time of year. And then when it's time for the walk-off finale, like a week before the 2-week Thanksgiving festival, like the week of the 2-week full Thanksgiving festivities, a mild cold came back and bit us. But this year we had a cold and wet Sandy Ridge finale. But this one was quiet. At least the other one was action-packed. But we learned our lesson, and now we're probably getting rewarded with the first walk-off finale. First official one we actually get to take advantage of this Saturday. So there's gonna be our first, Sandy Ridge walk-off finale to add to the series of Sandy Ridge finales. So we're going to open it back up one more time, and then we're done for the year. So therefore, and then we can focus on mine and Emily's anniversary on next Thursday at Between the Bun. I'm coming for you, JJ and Laisha, this Thursday when you could be my girlfriend. And then the Spurs play on the Hawks that night. You know, like if Trae Young, I don't know, that Hawks team is all banged up and shit. And then whatever Thanksgiving festivities my family's got going on next week, whether it be my dad with the Oliverses or my mom and grandfather with my grandfather's sister, Nada. So only time will tell. You just never know what's going to happen next. And for us, December 1st, Winter Wonderland Season 5 and the Christmas season starts for us. But anyway, let's just shut the fuck up for real and get off this thing and actually say goodbye legitimately this time. Catch you all in the next Spurs video, whether it be the next Spurs game review. We'll probably do a Golden State Warrior double for the next Spurs game review on Friday night, and then Sunday we'll do a game review against the Kings. And I don't even know when the next Spurs roundup episode's gonna be. Anyway, let's stop talking for real and say goodbye legitimately this time. See you later, everyone. And as always, go Spurs, go WEMBANYAMA, SWIPA the Fox. We got next. Get ready, JJ, Michelle, Mark, Kiara Berglund, Madison Pettis, and Naya Damison. Go Spurs, go Spurs, bitch. Oh mama, WEMBANYAMA, SWIPA the Fox. You guys are going down.
Yo, who say you gotta be a big man to compete in the NBA? Not us, Shorty. That's right. Allen and Jerome. That's us. We gonna creep on in.
Creeping like a creeper.
And drop some Stephon Marbury inner city funk. I'd love to see the face of the fool trying to D my slamming moves to the hole. Yo, David, you may be bigger than me, but you need to get yourself some Coppertone lotion. Why that, baby? Cause you just got burned.
Go Spurs, go!
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.